Ladies and gentlemen, football fans of North Central Ohio, you are now entering the Friday Night Pigskin. So get strapped in, lay some tide, and get right for big hits, top plays, and highlights. All coming your way from under the Friday night lights. The most exciting sounds and sights, gridiron action to serve your viewing delights. Let's go. Friday night lights. Get hype, it's Friday night. Friday night lights. Get hype, here we go now. Friday night lights. Get hype, it's Friday night. Friday night lights. Get hype, here we go now. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown! Throws it over the middle and he gets absolutely sauced. Friday night lights. Get hype, it's Friday night. Friday night lights. Get hype, here we go now.
3rd and 9 for Northmor. Ball on the 19 and overtime 1. A field goal would win the game for the Golden Knights and extend its regular season win streak. Stockdale in motion. Miley looking. Rolling out to his right. Cuts back.
Tuck it,
Still
go.
looking.
Tuck and go.
He's going to tuck it across the 15 to the 10. Still on his feet.
Touchdown!
Touchdown! Golden Knights! Miley scores!
Wow!
There's no flags! The Golden Knights have won!
Unbelievable.
Tanner Miley took him on his shoulder and scored! 19 yards, it's over!
Another week of high school football here in North Central Ohio and another walk-off victory, that one in overtime. We've got the full highlight coming up for you guys here in just a little bit. Good evening, everyone. Welcome here to the Friday Night Pigskin Week 2 edition, presented exclusively by our friends at Spherion Mid-Ohio. I am Brian Skowronski, your host. We had a lot of teams hold serve tonight that we sort of expected to get wins. A couple of upsets that brewed too. We've got some moving pictures on the way for that. But let's kick off the show tonight with a team that had very high expectations coming into 2025. Fresh off of a runner-up in the state championship game in Division 7 season just a year ago. That's the Hillsdale Falcons. They were at home tonight against the Lucas Cubs, who looked awesome. You saw them live and free right here on the OH Report in the big win over Plymouth. How would they fare now in this now Week 2 rivalry? We've got the highlights to show you how it shook out tonight over in Jeromesville. There are the Falcons running out onto the field. Home opener for them tonight, and they would get to work early against these Lucas Cubs that felt like maybe they were turning the corner under second-year head coach, Mr. Jimmy Sweat. But Kel Lewis, boy, does he have a cannon, and Hayden McFadden gets it done on the other end. That's 50 yards in the sky, 52 total. It is 7-zip Falcons on top in the first quarter. Same tandem, same result. 28-yard connection this time over a double team. What a crazy catch there in the end zone, and the Falcons are up by a couple of scores. This is Owen Sloan now, just became the school's all-time leading rusher, 5 yards in, 21-zip Hillsdale here in the second quarter. Not shown a field goal would make it 24-0. That's where we are now in quarter 3, and you see Sloan behind the big fellas, huge hole. He carves them up, and we are basically in a running clock situation. 31-0 in this game as the Falcons, they soar to 2-0. But don't take it from me how impressed we are with the boys out there in Jeromesville. How about we welcome in their head coach and former Falcon Trevor Klein here into the call. 2-0 start, Coach. You get a big win on the road against Black River. Now your home opener, and you look really solid tonight. Very impressive. What's your evaluation of your boys through 2 weeks of the season?
Yeah, I've been proud of the players so far. There's still plenty of things to work on, and I think anyone knows that. But overall, for our first 2 games, I feel that we played really well so far. We got to clean up our penalties. We're still having too many penalties, and we got to get that stuff figured out. But overall, for your first 2 games of the season, I've been extremely proud of our players on both sides of the ball.
0 penalties in the second half for your crew tonight, so they cleaned it up here when it was most recent, Coach. And most recently, you and Lucas meeting in week 2. This is one of my favorite rivalries in the area. You had some crazy battles over those first few years. Now the Falcons, you're kind of seizing command of this head-to-head. In your opinion, how have you been able to separate yourselves a little bit as a program in a position now where, of course, you guys got the high expectations and you're coming out with some big wins over the Cubs?
Yeah, this is a great football game each year. I know we look forward to playing Lucas. They're a great program and extremely well coached. But our guys have done a great job of working hard and buying in throughout not just the season, but also throughout the whole year. And I feel that's part of the reason why we've been able to continue to make steps in the right direction. And we have a lot of good players coming to our program right now that want to work and want to compete. So it's been a lot of fun.
Let's talk about the expectations. Obviously, you set a program record a season ago in terms of total wins, and you broke a lot of different metrics on offense as well. So how have the kids handled going into the season with a bit of a bullseye on their back?
I feel our players have handled it really well so far. Expectations are a good thing. You don't have expectations if you're not successful. So we look forward to having expectations. But our players have done a good job of just understanding that outside that locker room, it doesn't matter what the noise is, good or bad. We just got to continue to find ways to keep getting better, make sure we're better from one week to the next, so at the end of the year we can achieve what we all are hoping to achieve. And even though I'm extremely proud of our guys and how they played last year and what we were able to accomplish, last year's not going to win you any games. So even though that was a great year, it's a new season, and we got to just go out there and prove what the 2025 Hillsdale football team's about.
This is your first of 3 consecutive home games that you're going to get to bring in at your beautiful new stadium. How nice is the scheduling for you this year where you come out of the gates on the road, you take care of business, and now you get some home cooking 3 consecutive weeks?
Yeah, we always love it playing at home. I think any high school team loves playing at home, or really any team likes playing at home. But our schedule is unique. We run into this every couple of years where we get a nice little home stretch, which is always nice. But you also end up getting a little bit of a road stretch later on in the year. But this has been great getting to play in front of our crowd, and we're looking forward to the next 2 weeks, especially with our rivalry game next week at home against Danville, who's off to a very good start.
Let's talk more about that one. 2-0 for both of these schools, and Coach Honneberger, 0 for a season ago. It seems like Loudonville and the Birds are starting to turn the corner a little bit. So now that there's a little bit more juice behind this game, how much are you looking forward to them coming over to your place for that awesome Ashland County Week 2 battle?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is a game that's always a lot of fun for both programs. No matter what the records are of each team, it's always a great game. I know in 2022, they were able to get the best of us. But this year, I feel that they're a much better football team. They're off to a great start. Coach Honneberger is doing a great job down there. And we're looking forward to this week. And I don't know the last time that both teams came into this game 2-0. So there should be a lot of hype behind this game. And I know we're looking forward to going out and playing them.
Well, Coach, I know you're looking forward to the rest of the season and trying to get some bling, one of those WCAL rings, and then maybe even a state championship ring, which you were oh so close to capturing last year. But I'm told that you do have some new bling right now. What's up with the Falcon chain? How are guys getting their hands on this? Because my crew came back and they said they got to get one here for the set or just to wear around town.
I'm not behind that. Our wide receivers coach, Coach Wolf, is the one that has that. Obviously, I fully support him with that, and I know our wide receivers group absolutely loves it. But it's just another add-on to the 7-Eleven. Coach Wolf does a great job with our receiving group, and last year they went by 7-Eleven, and they're still going by that, but they've added this to it. So they will present it to a receiver each week. So the players are having a lot of fun with it. Coach Wolf's having a lot of fun with it, but he's the one behind that, and obviously the players love it.
No question about it. And the players love you, Coach. That's why you guys are just really rocking and rolling right now. It's been our pleasure covering you and looking forward to next week and beyond, man. Keep getting the job done.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate all your guys' support.
All right, our pleasure. Trevor Klein, the head coach of the Hillsdale Falcons, one of the really good guys that we have here in the area coaching, and he still looks like he's like 22 years old. He's been there for a while now, almost a decade. I know it's hard to believe, but perhaps no bigger expectations than what they got going on this year. So we're pretty lucky that we get to cover him for all 10 games this season. So that's a really fun week 2 head-to-head. Let's turn the page and now talk about another one. A Richland County rivalry, one team from the very far south of the county, and then one up top, the Shelby Whippets and Lexington Minutemen. I think many people were talking about this game this week. However, the expectation for most that I talked to were that Shelby were going to be head and shoulders above Lexington this year. Could the Purple People Eaters give them their best shot on the road tonight? We got the moving pictures to show you how it all played out. After Shelby stops Lex on the first drive, first series here for the Whippets, they set the pace for the game. Braden DeVito hitting Carter Kessler 53 yards. He takes it all the way in for the touchdown at 7-zip. After going for it on 4th and failing, Shelby gets the ball back and DeVito busts out on a monster 76-yard touchdown run. We know that he's a crazy athlete. There it is, and the speed. He's almost a little bit faster, I think, this year. 2-point conversion, good. It's 15-0. To start the second quarter, Lexington is finally able to find the end zone. Joe Caudill rolling out. Seven Allen somewhere coming into your picture. There he is. This guy is just so jittery. He's into the end zone. Had a huge week 1. Continues it right here. It's 15-7. Seven Allen not done yet. Gets it done on the offensive end, and a little bit of trickery for the Whippets. Blaine Bowman with the throw, but it's going to be intercepted. That's Allen with the return. The Lexington offense unable to take advantage, though. They would come up empty-handed. And then after a slow start for both teams coming out of the half, we see DeVito on the move again. Another rushing touchdown. He's just going to break it out of there for 56 yards this time. So 2 really explosive plays in the run game for Braden. 22-7. Lexington, however, would not go quietly into the night. Caudill finding Avery Crawford for a 16-yard connect. They would fail on the 2-point conversion, so it's 22-13. Next, as Lex goes to kick off, we see a 100-yard house call. This is Hayden Paz taking it all the way like a Pez dispenser, distributing the candy all the way down the sideline. A penalty, though, would negate it, so none of this even matters. But it would, again, set up another Whippet touchdown with DeVito finding his favorite target. This is Brady Bowman, 24-yard connect. He's a lot better at catching than he is throwing. It's 30-13. And then finally, the nail in the coffin would come. Gavin Baker of Shelby rushing it for a 21-yard tutty, making the final score of the game 37-13 in Shelby's favor. So it felt like the general public in and around the area, they had a pretty good indicator. I talked to a couple of coaches as well, and they just feel like Shelby just might be on a different planet this year. So the MOAC, we talked about it a little bit in week 1. It definitely feels like it's going to be the Whippets to lose this year if they can stay healthy and continue to take care of business. But they've done so in this head-to-head for quite a number of consecutive years now. And Braden DeVito, he's shown you that he's got the arm. 5,000 yards or whatever he was able to come up with last year, 61 total touchdowns. This is a bit of a new dimension where if you're going to try to drop back in coverage, he's able to break out of the pocket and he can find some running lanes. The 2 big explosive runs tonight should have a lot of upcoming opponents shaking in their boots, worried about what he can do, but I think that's been the case for probably his entire 4-year career. We've known about this guy. He's going to change all of the history out there in Shelby when it's said and done. His name's going to be on a ton of plaques in terms of being a record holder. Let's keep it in the MOAC now, and let's talk about the Galion Tigers. They've had some success here recently against the Carey Blue Devils, a team that they were running the show in the Northern 10 for a lot of years, but some feeling like perhaps the Blue Devils don't exactly have the dogs that they have over the last several seasons that we have seen. And for this highlight, we'll welcome in Travis Berardi now. I think this is a pretty cool addition to the new Week 2 rivalries, Trav. Yeah. Carey going head-to-head with the Tigers, and 2 really quality programs, but it seems like maybe one starting to separate themselves a little bit and showcase that they're a team to be reckoned with.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the last few years it's been Carey, baby. You know, since the state championship run, they've been doing pretty good. But the Galion Tigers, up and coming, the last few years, really good starts to the season. They've been very competitive, especially early on in a loss to Carey. But they've been getting the best of Carey the last couple of years. And could this be the year that Galion finally makes that next step and becomes one of the tops in the MOAC? Well, first, they have to get past that, what you could say, new rival in the Carey Blue Devils. So let's roll those beautiful highlights and take a look. First off, it is Aiden Schmidt, 35-yard pass to Kurt Hay. 7-0, not even 2 minutes in. Less than 2 minutes later, Galion's Camden Coleman rushes to the end zone around 48 yards, extra point no good, 13-zip. Beginning of the second, Carey's quarterback Trip Phoenix dodges Tigers, scans the whole width of the field, 15-yard throw to Logan Summit, who barely made it into the end zone. Look at the toe touch in the back. 13-7 with 10:20 left in the second. Later in the quarter, Schmidt rushes 1 yard in for the end zone, closing out the first half 20-7. Schmidt again opens up the third quarter. 38 yards this time, extending the lead to 27-7 with 9 minutes left in the third. And then 6 minutes later, hey, it's that Schmidt guy again to Hey, tumbling into the end zone, making it 34-7. Early in the fourth, though, Galion's Cale early, late, whatever. He's still into the end zone, making it 41-7. And then, you know, Carey, they're a team that fights till the end, Brian. They will get onto the board one more time. Dale Walter rushing 10 yards, diving into the end zone, making the final score 41-14. Galion, for the second consecutive week, a dominant performance. Last week, it was pretty surprising how they were able to handle their opponent in St. Mary's Memorial. But then this week, going against the Carey squad, that Carey's always a competitor in the Northern 10, and just manhandling them as well. The momentum is high. The pickle juice is flowing over in Galion, and they're 2-0.
I think you can say comfortably that Schmidt happened again here
yes,
tonight.
Yes, it did. Hey!
Over and over.
Hey!
Put that on a bumper sticker, right? and wear that around. So the Tigers, congratulations to Coach Dick, and they open up at home with those two games. Now they got to go on the road, Travis, for 3 in a row. The good news for them, we saw Ontario tonight go up to Contractor Stadium in Norwalk, absolutely handled the Truckers. So potentially a 3-0 start before they run into Shelby. MOAC opener, Galion versus Whippets, could be the top two contenders in the conference. It doesn't get much better than that for week 4.
No, absolutely. All these early season matchups that could determine conference races already. The first week of the MOAC slate fully, and it's Shelby at Galion at Heisey Park. But, you know, don't overlook Ontario as well. I mean, they have surprised us to start the season, going up to Norwalk and getting the victory over them. They got Shelby and then Ontario. And then, you know what? I mean, we as the media, like to look ahead, but a team that you're going to highlight here in a little bit, the Clear Fork Colts, taking on Galion at Heisey Park in week number 10. My fault. The Galion game is actually at Whippet Athletic Complex. My fault, folks, this season. But at home against Clear Fork to finish off the season. I mean, a lot in store, but Galion's got to keep it going. Can't overlook Norwalk to get to Shelby.
No question about it. So the Tigers off to a great 2-0 start. Shelby as well. Clear Fork looking to join the party. It's been a while since they've had a seat at the 2-0 table. How about 2018 when they went 10-0? They had those back-to-back 10-0 seasons right when they joined the MOAC. Could they knock off a bigger Zanesville club here tonight at Division III coming over to Belleville? I'll show you right here and now. As mentioned, it's been a minute since the Colts have been 2-0, but riding high into the Colt Corral where their senior captain, Devin Oswalt, had a coming out party. Look at this move, setting up the blocks of the perimeter, powers through a 3-pack of Devils. It's a 6-0 edge after they had the PAT blocked. You're going to hear from Oswalt again. Ensuing Colts drive, the hero from last week, Nash Evans, grab and go 38 yards into the Stampede to close out the first quarter. It is a 2-score game. Take you now early second quarter. Marcus Hoflick, play action fake, and he's going to throw a dot. Jacob Brokaw, 2 feet in the back of the end zone. Colts are rolling in the passing game. It was 19-zip at this point. Zanesville searching for some answers. They're going to get the ball back, but it's going to be Oswalt who picks up on the other end of that call. Shuttling between a pair of Zanesville players, and he is tasting Pater yet again. 25-0 at the break. Everything going in the way of the Colts. And let's take you first play now of the third quarter. Just a simple swing pass out to Devin, and it ends up being anything but simple. Oswald hits the clutch and throws it into high gear. The local police may have cited him for speeding at the end of this run. 3 touches, 3 tutties for our MVP as the Colts absolutely cruise to 2-0. A shutout victory for them, 39-0. They handle the Blue Devils, and they outgained them on offense 3-1 tonight. They forced 4 turnovers. So far through 2 weeks, the Colts have none. That's a recipe for winning football. And also, what really plays into that is having a coaching staff in place for a few years. So my MVP tonight, Devin Oswalt. I'm going to clip that and I'm going to post that later. But he had something really interesting to say to me in our post-game conversation. So I'm going to let Devin do the talking here and fill you in on what it's been like this build-up down in Belleville for the last couple of years.
It was cool to watch as well. You got the fireworks display going on. And Holden serve 2-0 for the first time since 2018, I saw. So it's been quite a while out here in the Valley. A team that's been building up to it under your head coach now in his 3rd season. And for you to kind of have this breakout performance, just what do you think you're going to remember most about the start of this season, knocking off Perkins and then a shutout victory tonight?
Oh, it's amazing. I think what I remember most is that people had doubts about our head coach when he first came in. But what people don't realize, you need time to build a culture.
Sure.
And I think what people are going to realize now is that he's built that culture, and we're here to do it. It's Colts football again, so it feels pretty great.
So I just want to applaud Coach Brokaw. He's got the players buying in. Look at that smile, man. He loves playing for this coaching staff, and it certainly showed tonight. 3 touches, 3 tutties for Devin Oswalt. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial timeout here in a second, but since I've got Colts on the mind right now, guys, how about you guys vote? We put out a bunch of different plays for you each and every week, actually 10 of them, and it could just be a Clear Fork player that was your winning play from week number 1. So here it is. Your winner of the top play of the week. No surprise. Walk-off field goal. Nash Evans with time expiring, sending the Colts to victory against a Perkins team that had absolutely flattened them in week 1 last year. 55-zip. It's 17-14 this year. Nash Evans producing your top play from week number 1. All right, I am a little bit out of breath, so I am going to call a timeout, but coming up on the other side of the break, we got some more 2-0 teams, a couple of them in the KMAC, plus we got a special call in from a coach that is loving their awesome start to the season. Stay right there. We'll be right back with more Pigskin.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Hi guys, I need you all to have a foam finger. At Mechanics Bank, we're all about the community. Whether it's supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank. That's better.
Avita Home Health and Hospice, our caring professionals are ready to serve you with personally tailored services designed to meet the unique needs of each individual. When we take on a patient at Avita Home Health and Hospice, they really do feel like family. So when we take care of our family, we want to take care of the whole person. So we take care of them from our nurses, our aides, our physical, occupational, and speech therapists, but we also have people that tend to their hearts. So we have social workers, we have chaplains, and people that can help with the emotional side of their care.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, we have a dedicated team that takes care of you. Caring for the whole person is our promise to you. From social and emotional well-being to the way the patient relates to their loved ones, we treat your family like our family.
Serving patients and their families wherever they call home, including assisted living facilities and nursing homes. Call 1-800-4NURSES to see if Avita can help administer your plan of custom care.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
So pleasantly surprised tonight that we've got Mason Kidwell, aka the KMAC Plus. He is with us tonight here in studio, and KMAC is what you do, man. Last year we had a couple of front runners, some really good teams that we were anticipating having some great seasons. What's your impression and expectation of the KMAC race this year?
The KMAC race this year is definitely going to be tight. As we see, like, we're not doing a whole lot of losing right now, knock on wood, but I think it's going to be a good one.
And we saw a team hasn't been off to a 2-0 start in quite some time. You were at Mount Gilead tonight. They had an opportunity to do that against Mount Gilead. Upper Sandusky, I'm sorry. Show the highlights. Not a lot of scoring in this game, Mason. We're going to show you the only touchdown in this one. How did this thing end up playing out after this score early in the game, first quarter, and then not much after that?
I mean, obviously this was huge. When you can score quick like Mount Gilead did in this instance, it can kind of bring that morale down for the other team. And then just being able to stick with it, get those short gains, have those ballsy moves on fourth down, that's really good for Mount Gilead in this case.
So they would end up knocking off Upper Sandusky 7-6 on the night. And the victorious coach from the game, Mike Reed, he is on the line with us right now. Coach, you score the touchdown right away. You take early command of the game, hanging on and winning this one by a fingernail. Just describe the atmosphere tonight, and ultimately, what did you see from your kids that allowed them to be able to pull this thing out?
Well, I tell you, the atmosphere here at Mount Gilead is incredible every Friday night. They've done a great job with the facilities. They've done a great job. The community did a great job coming out supporting our guys. And as far as my guys are concerned, I couldn't be more proud. They responded to adversity. It's a very, very physical game. On the defensive side of the ball especially, the defense really came to play. Got to give Coach Ulrey and the defensive staff a lot of credit, and even they executed it. And offensively, we did enough to keep the ball out of their hands, and like I said, we scored early, and that proved to be the difference.
You guys, it feels like you've been on the cusp here of having a breakout season. You've been really close. Defensively, you were fantastic last year, but you had a few bad breaks maybe not go your way. How much were you motivated by not making the postseason in 2024, and has that fueled you here in the first couple of weeks of 25?
Oh, yeah, I tell you, it really has. I put the scores to our games on our board when we started our winter program, and the kids realized right then that close. They were that playing in the semifinals. And really motivated the guys to really buy in. And every single kid on the roster bought into this process of becoming great, that looked like, and just trying to.
All right, Coach, I just got another question for you. As I mentioned with you right after the game, we talked about how this one kind of felt like it was a long time coming. We had last year where maybe there were a couple calls that if they were different, you guys could have won. So how's it kind of just feel to be able to show, hey, we can punch up too?
Well, I tell you, first of all, it's just great for Mount Gilead to be 2-0. That's been a long, long time since Mount Gilead was 2-0. We've done a lot of good things here, I think, in the last 4+ years. But the first time we've been 2-0, and beating Upper's big. As far as last year, sometimes our own breaks and finish a game, and that's the difference between and last year was that we were able to stay within ourselves, play good defense, hold them to a couple field goals, and then run off 7.5 minutes fourth quarter, holding on to the ball and securing the victory. So we sealed the deal tonight, and now we can get that here.
Well, congratulations for getting the job done tonight at home, Coach. One of the really cool small school environments that we have right now going in our OH Report family of schools. And I know that the work never stops. You and the assistant coaches, you're already getting your game plan together for Grove City Christian. So you know what comes after 2-0 potentially? 3-0, Coach. We'll all be rooting for you, man. Go get it done.
That's right.
All right. The only thing that they need to improve out there, the facilities are fantastic. A little bit better Wi-Fi. But Mason, just seeing this team in action, and defensively, they were super stout a year ago. So to win in this fashion tonight, where offensively didn't have their best stuff, but they're able to gut one out, how much do you think this benefits them moving forward, knowing that they do have the guts and what it takes to take a really hard-nosed game to the finish line?
You know, I think it speaks a whole lot. I feel like going into the offseason, there might have been some doubt that we're losing a lot of guys that have all these awards and whatnot. So maybe we've missed our shot. But I think this game tonight, playing a Division IV team, kind of just shows like, oh, we still have it. We're still in it.
All right, that's Mason Kidwell of KMAC Plus. Appreciate your time, man. But how about more KMAC action coming up? My friend Travis was over at the castle where he's taken his throne for the last several seasons, and you were back to defend it, and the Knights were there to defend it. Also looking to go to 2-0, Travis. I think might be a surprise for some around the area after all they lost to graduation.
Yeah, they lost like 15 players to graduation. They lost the Division VI Offensive Player of the Year, A.J. Bauer. He is now taking snaps at Ashland University. You lost Jax Wenger. You lost Cohen Becker, Nicholas Armros, who is now on the coaching staff. Just so many big names that they lost to the state Final Four team that went undefeated in the regular season, had a 15-game winning streak going into this season, made it 16 with their win over Upper after it was 3-0 at the half. They scored twice, won 16-0. But this Seneca East squad, big line, good defense. They knocked off Crestview 2-0 last week. One of those scores we talked about with Andy Jardy during the Jardy Party last week. But would this young Northmor squad be able to go up against a bigger physical squad and pull it off? Well, I got the highlights for you to show if they could. Welcome back to the Castle for the 2024 Regional Champs. First drive for the Golden Knights, and they look like they haven't lost a step. Tanner Miley to a wide-open speedster named Connor Stockdale, 79 yards. It's 7-0 just like that. But back come the Tigers and that punishing rush attack, which opens up the pass here. Nicholas Parks to Ethan Schultz. Extra point no good. It's 7-6. Final moments of the half now. Parks trying to extend the play, doesn't want to get sacked to run out time, throws from the seat of his pants to Connor Stockdale. Ain't no one catching him. 80-yard pick six. Zero is going to show on the clock at the end of this play. 14-6 Golden Knights at the half. Second half now, and the Tigers will start to take over. Parks with a running start easily gets in, 2-point conversion. Good, we're tied at 14. Then the first play of the fourth quarter, Nicholas buys his time, and he is going to find a wide open Gunnar Polacek down the sideline. He's going to get off to the races, get tackled inside the 10-yard line, and that would be finished off by Jackson Gayhart, who is a bowling ball on the night, 90-plus yards on the night. Seneca East leads 21-14. Midway through the fourth, Miley throwing a perfect dime like his predecessor, A.J. Bauer. Garrett Dish makes his lone catch of the night, and it's a big one. We're tied at 21 all, but was there too much time left on the clock? After a timeout, throws a made field goal by Aiden Bame. His second attempt, wide left. We have overtime. Seneca East first will go in overtime. Fourth down for them. Parks finds Schultz wide open. Yee! Bobbles it. It's dropped. Turnover on downs. Northmor only needs a field goal to win. They're trying to set up the field goal here. Miley says, you know what? I'll just win it here. Your call of the night, Tanner Miley from 19 yards out, and the Golden Knights move its regular season win streak to 17 in a row. 27-21. Instant classic from the Castle, a final in overtime, Brian. This was a game where Seneca East outplayed Northmor, outgained Northmor, yet it was the Golden Knights, the young squad, a bunch of players that had a lot of playing time last year in the second halves of those blowouts, and it proved to be very good for them as they come out with the victory. Nicholas Parks, Seneca East, put up big numbers last year in the Northern 10. One of the passing leaders. He also he passed for 173 yards and a touchdown. He ran for 154 yards, over 300 all-purpose yards, and a losing effort. I said Jackson Gayhart, 19 carries for 92 yards and a touchdown. But it was the Golden Knights finding big plays in times when they needed it to get the win, 2-0, and that's a lot of momentum for this young squad.
How much are you going to credit just championship DNA now in the culture when you've done what this team has accomplished over the last couple of years? They were this close, obviously, to making it to a state championship game, and they were on the cusp of winning KMAC titles before that. So they've kind of been born and bred, these guys that are now juniors and seniors. Do you put a lot of stock in that kind of fueling them to a 2-0 start?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, 9 of their first 11 games that they played last year, including week 1 of the playoffs, were running clocks. So these players were in for a whole half of these games against teams number ones for at least a quarter or two. So they have that experience. And when you have a coaching staff like Coach Scott Armros, his sons Andrew and Nicholas, who played on the offensive line. And then Nate Hall, the offensive coordinator, who has done phenomenal things with this squad. They have a very good, workout regimen, off-season, on-season. They just find a way. I was talking to Coach Hall afterwards, like, man, we really didn't execute, but I don't know. Somehow we found a way. And that last play, Brian, the call of the night, it was supposed to be a screen pass. Coach Armrose told Tanner, if the screen pass is not there, throw it at the running back's feet. We'll set up the field goal there. Tanner told me in the MVP interview afterwards, he said, hey, yeah, he told me that, but then I looked back and I saw a convoy of blockers. I said, hey, I might as well give it a try and at least get a couple more yards to set up the field goal. And, well, he did it himself with the 19-yard run to make them 2-0.
So the Golden Knights off to another nice start. Perhaps they'll be in the conversation when it's all said and done in the KMAC. Another team that we covered tonight, they kind of figured that they were going to be the front runner this year, that being the Centerburg Trojans. They were at home. They thought they were going to join the 2-0 party, and we had Joshua Banks out there for the call tonight. So the Trojans, big expectations, especially after what we saw from them in week number 1, but it didn't exactly play out as I think a lot of Centerburg fans were expecting tonight in the heart of Ohio.
Yeah, you had Centerburg taking on the Johnnies of Johnstown Monroe at home. A Division IV school this year is Johnstown Monroe, and the highlights are going to say it all. Is Johnstown Monroe ran the ball like crazy tonight. Trojans coming out ready to go, and they're going to start it off. Miles Marshall had himself a night, over 100 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns, but this man right here, Ryan Sager, is going to punch it in from 7 to tie it up. And then you might as well get used to hearing that name, because here he goes again. A little option pitch from Carter to Sager. He's going to punch it in from another 10. Barely gets into the end zone. How about one more for him? 66 yards. Outruns the entire defense, jukes a guy on the outside, and nobody's catching him. That's 3. And he's not done yet, as you're going to see him again here from 15 yards out. The young man does not go down on first contact, as there was a flag on the play there, but the touchdown would stand as it was on Centerburg. And they have blown it open at 24-8. Here, though, Miles Marshall going to get his second touchdown of the night from 52 yards out, untouched, into the end zone. Again, 150 yards from Marshall on the ground and 2 scores. He was the Centerburg offense tonight.
Right.
But here's that man again. Sager's going to run it in from 7. His 5th touchdown of the evening. And how about we just make it an even 6 as he goes in from 20. Sidestepping, just wheeling and dealing all night long. Ryan Sager goes for 205 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Johnstown Monroe the first 2 weeks, too. I'm trying to do some math here. How about 112 points in 2 games so far? So offensively, this team's not just a mini juggernaut, that probably offensively they're right up at the top in terms of any team in the state right now.
Yeah, there's not very many teams that are going to run with them. And you talk about a 2-headed monster, their fullback. Went for about 100 yards himself, no touchdowns, but he sets up. But their offensive line is outstanding up front. They make holes, and their defensive line put so much pressure on Blaine Ball tonight, he couldn't do anything with it.
I want to bring in now Jonathan Langdon. He's covering a lot of KMAC action for us this season. Centerburg, I think a bit of a surprise, Jonathan, no, that they weren't able to get the job done tonight or even be a bit more competitive, because this was a home game where they're usually so good in the heart of Ohio.
I think this is simply just a case of Johnstown Monroe is a different level this year. I think we're going to see their offense continue to explode throughout the rest of the year. They're around my neck of the woods now with my move, but I'm excited to see what they do in the LCL. And in fact, speaking of the LCL, it just feels like that league so far has had the KMAC's number early on in matchups.
And you had another KMAC game tonight. You were down on Tough Street. They're unveiling some new turf. I got to imagine that the energy's high and everybody's expecting Danville to just come out and take care of business. Didn't exactly play out that way, did it?
Yeah, you thought the energy would be high, and it was, but it wasn't for long. Let's go ahead and roll those highlights. Danville taking on Utica, a team that they've had their way with in the recent years, but you see here on their opening drive, they are stuffed on 4th down and goal at the 1. and that would lead to Danville just having to try again on the second drive. And Briggs Wallace, shout out to him, the freshman, getting his first career touchdown with the full matrix, missing that tackle for Utica. But unfortunately for Danville, that would be the last real highlight that we would get to show. Aaron Hayes will get this one in for a touchdown to get Utica back kind of in business, down 2, not able to get the 2-point conversion. And then they get their work with Hunter McKinney, getting the job done on the jailbreak screen, takes it to the opposite side and scores a touchdown. They would take the lead, and they would keep it for good. Moving on to the next clip. McKinney, you're going to see him strike again. Hayes steps up in the pocket, and look at this catch to the back of the end zone. They find Blue there at the new Tough Street Stadium. Second touchdown for McKinney. Third touchdown, second passing for Hayes. And then the third quarter flew by so fast that I think we're just going to show you what really happened with this Danville team. Just uncharacteristic mistakes, drops after drops after drops. And then kind of when they were trying to catch up there towards the end, you're going to see Ridgeway here on this next play throw a pick. He had 2 of those tonight. Just trying to play catch up too much. They dug themselves in a hole that they couldn't get themselves back out of. And Aaron Hayes wraps up a solid performance. 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, and the junior, the big fella at quarterback, leads this team to a real solid win against a real solid Danville team that I think is going to be just fine after this game. But Utica, I think they may be back, Brian.
Okay, but is there an adjustment period, you think, getting that new fancy turf and just like a feeling of the stadium and the environment? It's been a mud pit at times when we've been over there, and that's what kind of made Tough Street Stadium exactly that. So do you put any of the blame for the loss tonight on just the new environment and playing on that brand new shiny surface?
There's definitely a case. I think that there was a lot of pressure on the kids today. It was a sold-out crowd on both sides. Everybody was just excited to be there, let alone any sort of result that the game came out of. Of course, everybody wanted to see a win, but I feel like everybody left still feeling happy about the direction the program's going and just the fact that they have turf now and they're going to have great opportunity just to kind of keep building despite the loss tonight.
34-0 though. Utica gets beat last week by the very Trojans that you just covered tonight, Josh. How do you make apples and oranges of these first 2 weeks and these 3 teams and how the different outcomes kind of just all came out and looking so opposite ends of the spectrum?
Well, I mean, I think that we're seeing that the Golden Knights might be the favorite to win the KMAC again after the first 2 weeks. They're 2-0. They're showing that they can still do what they did last year. Only now they don't have to have a running clock. They can win the close ones. That's going to make them even more dangerous as the season goes along.
Jonathan, after the losses tonight for Danville and Centerburg, way too early predictions looking forward, more likely to bounce back and have like 8 wins on the season. Who do you think can get that done?
Between the 3, I would say Danville still has the better shot. Next week, they take on a tough Lucas team. I think if they win that game, they'll have a pretty good chance to keep that momentum rolling forward. They've got a pretty simple start to KMAC play, and I just feel like they can kind of start to find a groove. I think the issue tonight was that they have a couple of stars that they're playing in different positions than you would expect. They're still trying to figure out how this team works, and that's kind of what happened last year with Danville. They got hot once they started to figure out who they really were. It takes a couple weeks for Danville to find that out, and tonight was definitely the ugly side of that I think we're going to see fixed soon.
Definitely going to be a whole lot of fun to keep an eye on as it continues to unfold here on the OH Report. Of course, your home for all of the KMAC action. Appreciate the time tonight, Jonathan. We'll see you back in action next Friday, bud.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's transition from KMAC talk to the alma mater of one Jonathan Langdon and the Ashland Arrows. Playing at home tonight, they were looking for a big win over one of their longtime rivals in Marion Harding, and Doug Haydett, he was out on the scene for Ashland Source, and this is a pretty cool scene anytime these 2 teams get together because there's plenty at stake, man. Not only is there a win and bragging rights and all those playoff points, but there's a big shiny bell involved too. So fill us all in before we talk about the game, about just the history of this rivalry and what does this bell mean?
Yeah, so 60-second meeting with Marion Harding for Ashland. The series is now 24, 34, and 4 for Ashland. So they still trail, but this was their 4th straight win tonight. They go out and win 42-7. And yeah, the Bell, it's the 6th most played rivalry in their history. So just they used to be conference foes back in the Ohio Heartland Conference days. And it's just been kind of an interesting back and forth, some gaps in the rivalry, but they've played the last 4 years here, and Ashland's kind of had the edge ever since they picked it back up.
Well, we know offensively that they're going to be able to get it done. I mean, they got some big names out there, but defensively, continuing what they started last week, what did you like about that side of the football tonight for the A's?
Yeah, huge run. I mean, they end week 1 tied at 10 with Bay, and then after that they went 6 straight scoreless quarters here if you carry it into tonight. He got one tonight in the first half, just shutting down the run game. I mean, Marion comes into this one without a ton going on offense here last year. They're using a freshman quarterback this season, so I was curious how they would do, and Ashland just held them without a rushing first down until the 4th quarter. They only had 1 first down before halftime. That was through the air, so a lot of punting going on, and yeah, the Ashland defense really found its footing this week.
Okay, but obviously the offensive plays, they're going to make the headlines. Bernie and O'Brien, they linked up for some big ones tonight, huh?
Yeah, so senior Nathan Bernard, 5 total touchdowns tonight, 2 rushing, 3 passing. Junior Killian O'Brien, just 3 catches tonight, but they go for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bernie just on the move tonight. He bought himself some time a couple times and made some crazy good throws. Going to Appalachian State next year, and you could really see how good he's become with his footwork, being able to adjust on the fly. And some of the throws he made tonight were, he even said they were some of the best he's made in his career. Hit O'Brien twice on rollout throws, and one of them was on a 4th down. Hit Junior Grayson Baith with a touchdown on a 3rd and 11 in the first quarter for the game's first touchdown. So just making a lot of plays on the move and really showing that he is that next level guy.
Expand a little bit on Grayson Baith. Does it seem like this dude's kind of emerging as maybe the playmaker on the offense that Bernhard can find?
Yeah, 19 carries, 119 yards, and a touchdown tonight. He had 1 catch for a 22-yard score. Junior gets the bulk of the rushing touches when Bernie's not kind of keeping it for himself. And I mean, he's got great speed. Not the biggest kid. I think he's 5'11", 6 foot somewhere in there, but just. He runs hard, but when he gets in the open field, he's got great speed too. So I think his rushing touchdown tonight was 33 yards. So he can break it away when he's in the open field, and definitely another weapon they've got.
So Ashland taking care of business at home, obviously community stadium. It's always a very warm environment for them. Now they got to head to Clyde next week, who came off of a week 1 loss against Bellevue. Believe they beat Start tonight. So just preview that game for me a little bit and your thoughts on what we should expect to see the Arrows when they're away from the friendly confines.
Yeah, they actually Clyde lost tonight. I was just as you guys were talking about the KMAC stuff, I was doing some research, and 30-13 loss to Start tonight. First 0-2 start since 2011 for Clyde. So that doesn't mean anything when it's Clyde, though. I mean, that's a team that hasn't missed the playoffs since 2012, state title in 2019. So all the Arrows that I talked to tonight after the game said, it's going to get real now. Target's on the back. Everybody remembers how last season went for Ashland. So there are no secrets going into a game with Ashland this season, and first time on the road, there's going to be a lot of things that'll be interesting to see how they handle things next week after these 2 running clock blowouts to start the year.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see how the Arrows continue to progress. Huge expectations for them so far, and they're meeting the standard. Got the Erie Bell staying right there in Ashland County. Doug Haydett, thanks so much for the time, buddy. We'll check in with you next Friday night.
You got it, Brian. Thanks, man.
My pleasure. All right, let's go from And, well, where Marion is located, to a Marion County rivalry. We had Elgin on the road at Ridgedale, and I got to talk to each of the head coaches in this football game a season ago leading into it, and I guess this is the big one on each of their schedules. So let's find out together who got the win. Highlights are in. We'll start here with Elgin getting on the board first. That's Jack Van Gundy, 6-yard scamper into pay dirt. This is about halfway through the opening frame. A long time later, about 18 minutes of game time, it's Bowers to Nelson, 30 yards into the zone. This would make it 12-0. Ridgedale going to bounce back in those beautiful uniforms. Michael Deese, 2-yard touchdown run. The extra point was good, so it's 12-7, but Van Gundy going to extend that lead right back. 24-yard rumble, big fella, and he's got those big old pads on. Able to take it into the touchdown. Here's Gilliam now. Same distance, same result. 24-yard touchdown run for him, kind of opening things up. And then Lou Cart, a 10-yard run. 30-7 now the score. They're running away with this thing, and they would close it out with a big-time touchdown right here. Pre-shower, 50-yard run, and this was not even close. Pre-shower, 123 yards and a touchdown on just 14 carries, 36-7. Elgin gets the victory on the road. So we're going to keep an eye on each of these teams and see how things progress moving forward the rest of the season. But it looks as though it could be the Comets that are going to have a bit of a better 2025. 250 yards on the ground, but defensively, you like the takeaways and turning them into extra possessions, and that's a big reason why they got the victory tonight on the road. Let's talk about a team that was playing at home for the first time, Big Walnut. They had to play at Ohio Dominican against Bishop Watterson, the defending Division III state champions. I forget how many games in a row they had won, but it's a lot. At least 17 in a row now. B-Dub came out strong in that one, kind of fizzled out late. I've got some highlights from their game tonight against Dunbar in their home opener. We're going to start here. I know that's Nolan Burley sporting the number 3. This looks like about 33 yards. He's going to take it into the end zone. This is first quarter action, and B-Dub is on the board first. Now Eli Stumpf moving around in the pocket. He finds Owen Pollock all alone in the back of the end zone, extending out their cushion. As we move now into second quarter action, it's Stumpf again. Gavin Harrington, 39-yard dot on the money into the zone. And the Eagles are soaring in Sunbury. Nolan Burley would not be done. He is a big play machine. Look at that cutback. Even switches it to the left hand, and he'll take it in for a 25-yard touchdown. Jake Neff just kept tacking on extra points, by the way, too. You see the score there. The Eagles absolutely dominating. They would even add a safety here on the play as well. And then we've got Jackson Barncutt capping things off. The second stringers getting in there. 6-yard touchdown run right there. And looking at some of these final stats, I'm told Dunbar had 0 first downs tonight. 0 for 14 on third down. Meanwhile, 15 first down conversions for the Eagles, who had 372 yards to get this, -18. So you want to talk about bounce back season, coming in motivated and hungry. Not exactly the same type of caliber opponent, but we all kind of felt like coming off that state Final Four run from a season ago and beating a team like Massillon, Washington for a regional championship, that Big Walnut would be a team to really be reckoned with. Well, I think they showed the world tonight that they are a squad perhaps destined for a run like we saw in 2024, where they ripped off 12 consecutive victories. All right, guys, we've got one more commercial break coming up. When we come back, we're going to get a taste of gridiron glory. We've also got your week 1 winner of the Friday Night Phenom. Plus, it would not be a Pigskin show without a Jardy Party on the way. We've got those 3 items still coming up. I'll see you there.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank! That's better.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, our caring professionals are ready to serve you with personally tailored services designed to meet the unique needs of each individual. When we take on a patient at Avita Home Health and Hospice, they really do feel like family. So when we take care of our family, we want to take care of the whole person. So we take care of them from our nurses, our aides, our physical, occupational, and speech therapists, but we also have people that tend to their hearts. So we have social workers, we have chaplains, and people that can help with the emotional side of their care.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, we have a dedicated team that takes care of you. Caring for the whole person is our promise to you. From social and emotional well-being to the way the patient relates to their loved ones, we treat your family like our family.
Serving patients and their families wherever they call home, including assisted living facilities and nursing homes. Call 1-800-4NURSES to see if Avita can help administer your plan of custom care.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
We don't normally make you guys wait around this long to find out who the winner is of the Friday Night Phenom, and we had some pretty awesome candidates, in my opinion, for week number 1, but that's not for me to decide. That is up to you, the fans of North Central Ohio and beyond, wherever you voted from. We had a ton roll in for week number 1, and here is who you chose as your Phenom. Hard to argue with this selection of Parker Weithman. Week number 1, and he put everything on full display. every time he touched the football, pretty much, he was getting into the end zone. Of his 4 grabs and nearly 200 yards, how about 3 tutties? Whoop, just 1 hand necessary. That was also up for a top play. And oh, by the way, dude had a defensive interception too. So got it done on both sides of the football, soaring the Eagles to a 1-0 start. Parker Weithman, your Friday night phenom. Let's go from gridiron glory for the Colonel Crawford Eagles and their Friday night phenom to more gridiron glory here tonight as we're going to take the trip down south and check in with my boy in Athens. Evan Johnson is joining us now. Evan, are you doing the Court Street Shuffle tonight or what's happening?
Not right now. We just finished up our show, so maybe we'll see what we get into tonight, celebrating some great football.
Yeah, the night is young when you're a college kid, only 12:40, so we'll see what you get into. But I know tonight made the travel out to Fort Fry, taking on West Muskingum, Evan. So set the stage for us about what the expectation was coming in.
Yeah, so this game was supposed to be lopsided. West Muskingum, they had a 42-0 win in the first week. Fort Fry loses by over 30. And according to Drew Pastor's Fantastic 50 site, he had West Muskingum winning by 28. So we expected it to be a blowout on one side, but we really got the other.
All right, let's roll those highlights and see how it all played out tonight.
That is Carter Smith repping the SpongeBob backplate. But getting things off is the quarterback sneak for Fort Fry, and they got the first touchdown of the game. This was late in the second quarter. And now we started to see in the final 2 minutes, we saw 3 big scores, starting with this one, 69 yards to the crib. Nobody is catching him. That will make it 15-0 Fort Fry early on. They get the 2-point conversion after this touchdown, but West End was not going to back down. I mean, look at this catch on his head. Look at Moss and guys out there, no problem. You see athleticism. But with 2 seconds left in the first half, we're going to go Hail Mary here, running out, making the play. There was even a defensive pass interference, and they still make the touchdown. I know that was our top play of the week from Gridiron here in Gridiron Glory. Just an incredible way to end the half. And Fort Fry would go on to win that game 36-7. Just unbelievable turnaround. We did not think Fort Fry really had that in them, and they really proved us wrong.
Yeah, that's not only like an upset compared to what you had going into the game. That's like Las Vegas having a 3-touchdown underdog, and all of a sudden they win by 3 scores, Evan.
Yeah.
So from what you saw, how do you make sense of what we all were kind of anticipating going in versus what played out on the field tonight?
Well, West M's offense is just so much more athletic than Fort Fry's in a way. They're a higher division or a bigger school, but that Fort Fry defense came to play. That front 7 was amazing. West M could not get the run game started at all, so they kept having to try to force the pass. And there were some questions at quarterback with Brownrigg, the coach's son. He had some struggles getting around his line, getting guys open. There were some drop passes. They just started getting their own heads early, and Fort Fry was just dominant. They kept the ball on the ground for the most part, and then they would have those big air out plays. They executed their game plan perfectly.
All right, Evan, I know that you got things to get to tonight. A little bit of shuffling out there in Athens or whatever it is that you college guys are getting into at Ohio University. So thanks for checking in, man, and we'll see you back here next Friday night with some more Gridiron Glory.
Thank you guys so much. Can't wait.
All right, Evan Johnson, one of the good ones, folks, bringing you that action. And who could see that game playing out the way it did? All right. I start getting a little bit of jitters, almost some butterflies in my stomach, and I think that my good friend can actually hear me this week. So let's show him. It's time for Andy Jardy to join the show for a party. Oh no, but now I can't hear you. Okay, shoot.
Yes.
All right, Andy, we got you. The production team's trying to play tricks on us this week. Not funny, man.
My goodness. Trying to make it to still make Evan's party that he's going to later. I can't be give me a scare like this. How we doing, Brian? Good to hear from you.
Oh man, pretty fun little week too. I gotta say down here, Andy, some upsets that we weren't expecting. Obviously, if you just saw that last highlight, some other teams that are now 2-0, and we're making all these bold predictions right now. Travis is saying that Northmor's going back to state. So there's a lot of emotions running pretty high in the building here tonight, I must say, my friend. What about you? Because what I love about your segment is that you're not like kept into the box of the OH Report games that we're covering. You've got the headlines from everywhere, my friend. So I can't wait to see what you have in store for us.
Let's get into those headlines, shall we, Brian? It's our No Huddle headlines here for you in week 2. And we start things off, I mean, where else other than Marion local? Close one tonight, 63-0.
It's on our scoreboard.
66 in a row for those keeping score at home. That's 50 straight in the regular season. You have to go back to 2019 when they last lost a game, and that was to Minster. So, yeah, there are no signs of this streak ending anytime soon. But if you listen closely, speaking of streaks ending, do you hear the celebration, Brian, over in Bucyrus? Because they won tonight over Triad, snaps the 22-game losing streak. Party on, Bucyrus. Love to see streaks like that come.
Brats for everybody.
What a win for Bucyrus right there. Historical win tonight as well. Clinton Massey, a big win at Coldwater, 14-7. And it was Coach Dan McSorley's 300th career win. Perhaps Mr. McSorley will be Mr. McSmiley tonight with that milestone win at number 300. My alma mater, I'm going to keep bringing them up because they keep winning. They are now 2-0. They win the Battle of Lemoyne Road tonight over our arch rivals, Lake, the Flyers, 56-42. Rangers now 2-0. They will travel to Upper Sandusky next week. So should be a good game there. You saw the highlights earlier on the show tonight, but Clear Fork dominant tonight, 39-0 shutout over Zanesville. They had the big win last week over Perkins, dominant win tonight, and now how about that game with Lexington next week? That should be a lot of fun. And how about this stat that I saw from our good pal Zachary Holden on Twitter? First time since 1999, all 6 Crawford County schools, that's Bucyrus, Buckeye Central, Colonel Crawford, Crestline, Galion, and Winford all won on the same weekend.
Whoa.
First time since 1999 that all 6 of them have been able to win on the same weekend. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, man, I was in 8th grade then. I now have a junior in high school. So it's been a little bit of time, I think, since that all went down. So some pretty fun headlines. Marion local, the foreseeable future, crazy, obviously. I saw some people tweeting about the fact, I think the national record is like over 100 wins in a row. So they're catching up pretty quickly if they win the state championship again this year. But the Clear Fork Colts, man, I like that you're looking forward to that game against Lexington. It's going to be bounce back season for the Minutemen. They're going to be returning home where they just looked so great this last week. But I think the Colts, they're a little bit different beast than what we've seen the last couple of seasons. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing the outcome of that one.
Yeah, you're getting a Lexington team trying to quickly get over their loss tonight to Shelby. So that should be a very interesting matchup there, too. And if you're looking, again, ahead of next week, too, some of the intriguing matchups. I saw Lucas tonight just get kind of manhandled by Hillsdale, I think is the best way to describe that.
Sure
and
did.
now they're going to face a Danville team that inexplicably looked as bad as they did tonight. So you're going to get those two playing each other next week, trying to not go 1-2 to start the year. So that game should be a lot of fun to tune into next week as well.
And since you talked about your alma mater in Northwood off to a nice 2-0 start, if anybody's wondering in the rundown over on this side of the screen, the Moffett County versus Steamboat Springs game, that's my alma mater against our longtime rivals. Didn't realize that we were in trouble tonight. Travis put that in there.
I was trying to be nice.
I told him that we don't lose.
I was trying to be nice. I thought it was going to be a cool thing. Can't put Bishop Donahue. We're closed. Andy got his school already. I mean, I was going to be cool. I'm like, hey, look, Moffett County. No, you got blown out by the rival. That's tough, bud. I'm sorry.
I got to call back at home and see what's going on. We never lost to Steamboat when I was growing up. We had some awesome barn burners, some games, but
you weren't there to help. That's why.
Shut out.
Yeah.
All right, Andy. Well, my Bulldogs didn't have any dandies tonight, but who are yours?
Got a few dandies here for you tonight, and we'll start at the game I was at. Hillsdale's Cale Lewis, 206 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He completed his first 11 throws. I mean, he was absolutely locked in. You saw it in the highlights. He puts the ball where only his receiver can get it. Very impressive performance out of the quarterback from Hillsdale tonight. They looked the part again, by the way, to get all the way back to Canton and try and win a state championship. Maybe end that Marion local streak, perhaps, if they get a chance at them again. How about this game from Evan Coons at Vermilion? He set the school record 417 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns in a 42-12 victory over Firelands. That ties him for 40th all-time in Ohio for rushing yards in a single game. And the Sailors win the Stillman Cup 2025 edition. Love a good rivalry game. Love if the trophy's involved. You saw the highlights too. Clear Fork's Devin Oswald, 3 touchdowns in a rout over Zanesville. Clear Fork, we talked about it briefly here. They look to be something different this year than what we've seen in the last couple of years. Just take some time for everyone to gel. Nobody has patience these days, but you got to have patience. Let the coach get his players in, get his formulas in and everything, and just let things progress naturally. 2 more dandies here for you. Edison's Bryson Whitmer, 19 carries, 111 yards, 5 tutties in Edison's 35-10 win over St. Paul. And then how about this stat line for you? Huron's Landon Holer, he threw for 5 touchdowns, and he ran for another 2 touchdowns. So if my math serves me, I think that's 7 touchdowns in the 48-12 win over Elmore. So those are your Week 2 Andy's Dandies.
Good stuff, man. Good list, and kind of spreading the wealth around. A lot of different schools featured in there, but 7 tutties in a game.
I mean,
how about 400-plus yards is only good for 40th on the list? Like,
that,
what
that
are we
blew my
doing
mind.
here?
I was going to say, I'm going to have to track down, like, the rest of that list and see, like, I mean, 40 people have rushed for 417-plus yards in Ohio history. Like, that's crazy to me. I'm curious how much higher the next, like, numbers are. They're, like, 20 people tied at 418 yards rushing or something, but still, yeah, we're going to have to do some research. I did not rush for 400 yards. I would just like to point that out. I appreciate the support, but maybe in NCAA football I did that once. Yeah.
Andy, do you have a career high in football in any metric that you would like to share?
Let's see. Career high. I played football 1 year. I played in 5th grade, and I got my pinky lodged into the face mask of another helmet and was out for a decent amount of time. I was not very good at football. I love the sport. I can talk about it and watch it. I don't have any specific stat line that I can give you. Oh, that's not true. That's not true. Our gym team in 8th grade won, like, the gym championship, whatever that would have been. I threw a Hail Mary pass to my good friend, Kevin Yarger. Shout out to Kevin. Still keep in touch with him. He caught it. We won. It was fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure Kevin's really...
That's an accurate lower third grade.
He's been hanging on to that one, too. I bet probably telling that at a lot of cocktail parties, and who knows, probably still works on the ladies. I know Travis still has his JV stories. Any that you'd like to share here before we get off the air?
No, but I do have the rushing yards in a game records. The number 1 record, 532 by somebody from Williamsburg back in 01. 529 second, 516 third. You go all the way down. It's like... You're right, Andy. It's 400, 402, 402, 403, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. So just breaking through and getting into the list. But 532 is the all-time single-game rushing mark in the state of Ohio.
Wow. Who said it?
Yeah. And yeah, no football stories from this backup kicker wide receiver. I didn't do much, but yeah.
Okay, well, back in my day, I was making catches and scoring against Steamboat Springs. We got to do better, Bulldogs of Moffett County. We got to turn over a better leaf than what we just saw here tonight. Again, I'm going to have to make some calls back home, see exactly what's going down in the 81625, but unacceptable. Jardy, always love partying with you here late night, almost about 1 a.m. on the Pigskin. Appreciate you always bringing the juice, and the hair is in perfect form for being this late in the day, man.
Thank you. You know, It's still flattened from the headset from earlier, so it looks great.
And Andy will actually be with me with our newest OH Report member next week. We'll be at Louisville. The 2-0 Leopards will be at their game at their beautiful stadium. So, Andy, looking forward to being on the call with you over at Louisville, our newest member of the OH Report family. Brian, I am really excited to get them into our set of schools here on the OH Report.
Yeah.
Me and you both, buddy. All right, I think we've exhausted just about everything that we can talk about here on the show. Real quick, though, Andy, since we got college football kicking off tomorrow in Columbus, make a prediction for me. Buckeyes versus #1 Texas. Who wins and why?
Oh, man. I want to take Ohio State, but I do worry about this game tomorrow. These are the kind of games that, like, in recent years they've struggled with, and for some reason I feel like they play worse at home in these big games. Yeah, I'm gonna take Texas. I don't like it, but I'm gonna take Texas by like 3. I think they win on a field goal at the end.
Horns down.
35-31
right. Buckeyes. Horns down.
I hope you're right, but yeah, I just have a bad feeling tomorrow.
Ohio against the world. I always have a positive feeling. 31-27. Buckeyes get it done at home. We start off the season with a bang. So have we here on the Pigskin. If you stayed with us all this time, really appreciate your viewership. And we'll be right back here, same channels, same time next week for week 3. Get some sleep, guys. We'll see you then.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank. That's better.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, our caring professionals are ready to serve you with personally tailored services designed to meet the unique needs of each individual. When we take on a patient at Avita Home Health and Hospice, they really do feel like family. So when we take care of our family, we want to take care of the whole person. So we take care of them from our nurses, our aides, our physical, occupational, and speech therapists, but we also have people that tend to their hearts. So we have social workers, we have chaplains, and people that can help with the emotional side of their care.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, we have a dedicated team that takes care of you. Caring for the whole person is our promise to you. From social and emotional well-being to the way the patient relates to their loved ones, we treat your family like our family.
Serving patients and their families wherever they call home, including assisted living facilities and nursing homes. Call 1-800-4NURSES to see if Avita can help administer your plan of custom care.